Bitcoin broke above $39,000, again a new yearly high. In today's video, we're going to be jumping down into the technical analysis on BTC, reviewing what's been going on the 1 hour, 1 day and 1 week's timeframes, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think the price action is going. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community, talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video, kicking things off with Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. Okay guys, here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We are on the 1 hour Binance chart here. So as per yesterday's video, we are tracking to the upside. We haven't yet hit our target range, which is right up here at the 39,273 to 39,708 approximately. And we can see, of course, that we did tap into this higher range just above that $39,000. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these horizontal lines that we had already and snap them to that local high at the moment, 38,999 according to the Binance chart. So just short of $39,000 on the Binance chart, but above $39,000 on other exchanges. And so as you can kind of see here, we've got some pretty decent progression to the upside, but we are not done just yet. We're yet to kind of hit that expectation. We have met the minimum expectation with this most recent high being higher than our A wave. However, looking at everything that's going on here, this is a continuation pattern. I expect us to continue this move to the upside. We're down in the oversold area. We are looking for a run to the upside, but this weekend is probably going to be the last opportunity to kind of get into this range here. Now, it doesn't have to happen, but it is something that I would expect to occur. As you can kind of see, this larger yellow box area is our broader fifth wave movement. If I zoom out, you can kind of see our broader fifth wave movement lands inside this range of basically 38,750 to 40,080. So we know that we've already met the expectations of our fifth wave by coming into this larger yellow box. My expectations, though, are that we eventually actually end up into that slightly more centralized area of 39,270 to 39,700 approximately. Okay, so everything here on the 1 hour time frame is kind of following along what we were talking about yesterday. You can also see that we have our break of structure over this side, a new break of structure over here. This occurred essentially on the 1st of December, so yesterday at 9 a.m. Just after I recorded yesterday's video. And so you can see right here, basically confirming that we are still bullish. We'll end up with another break of structure up in this higher range, confirming it when we keep going in towards our target range, in my opinion. So everything on Bitcoin at the moment on the 1 hour time frame is progressing quite nicely. Ultimately, we are looking at moving up towards that kind of $39,270 level. That would basically get us with the 1-to-1 on the A and the C wave. Pretty typical kind of move of what you would expect when it comes to these kind of movements. So everything on the chart from an Elliott wave theory point of view is looking pretty good. Everything from a smart money concepts point of view is also looking pretty good. Now, from our EMAs and our SMAs, everything's also looking good. Right, we have the white line, that's the 200 EMA. We have the red line, that is the 50 EMA, with the yellow line being the 50 SMA. Ultimately, everything here is actually geared up quite nicely on this 1 hour time frame. And so, yeah, we're still looking quite good progressively to the upside. I think, maybe before even this video goes live, we might actually see a bit more of a move to the downside, just a tad. We'll probably target out that kind of $38,550 level, which is pretty much really where we are. We've just got a little bit lower potentially in there before we rally. So we'll keep a close eye on that, but ultimately we're still looking for that push to the upside. Now, with the weekends, the volumes are usually typically lower than they are during the week. So it's harder to kind of see things get pushed back to the upside. So we might find ourselves with a ranging market for the Saturday and the majority of the Sunday, with a bit of a rally at the latter part of Sunday. Ultimately, I think everything on this 1 hour time frame is kind of gearing up quite nicely. So let's go ahead and take things up to that next level, the daily time frame. Now here in the daily time frame, we are tracking a diagonal. Okay, now we're tracking an expanding diagonal. An expanding diagonal essentially only has a handful of rules. Let me show you what they are. So we have a wave 1, which would typically be your shortest wave, your wave 2, and then you'll have a wave 3, which is not allowed to be the shortest wave. You'll then have a wave 4, and then you'll have a really big wave 5. So what you tend to find is that you'll have a situation with wave 1. It sometimes can be quite large, but ultimately it is going to be not bigger than wave 3. Wave 3 basically cannot be the shortest wave, right? And what you'll find is that you have this expansion, basically higher highs, and you'll have testing lows like this. So you can see how they test these lows. So they do have higher lows, but ultimately you can see how it expands out. They also call this a megaphone pattern because it kind of has that shape to it. So this one here is kind of what we're tracking right inside our kind of fifth wave movement, this one right over here. Okay, then of course inside there we have the fifth wave movement, and that fifth wave movement is also tracking a diagonal, and that diagonal fifth wave I think is either where we are, which by looking at it right now I would say is probable, but I'm going to keep it open for now. And we are targeting out basically $39,600 to $40,000. Okay, so we are still targeting that slightly higher range on the daily time frame. Now, from our kind of stochastic RSIs and things like that, we are now just up in the overbought range. Essentially, here up in this overbought area, this is where we're going to start to see reversal. It doesn't have to happen right away though, but it is something that will eventually happen and something that we will see essentially a reversal in the market and a move to the downside. Now, from our EMAs, we can see that the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA is quite high in the price chart, with a 200 EMA being below our fair value gap, the fair value gap being $30,000 to $32,500. So we know that there's a fair value gap here. There's actually a couple more on the show on the chart as well, but we're only going to focus on this one, I think, on the kind of the medium term. Now, smart money concepts is also in bullish structures, as you can kind of see here, break of structure, confirming that we are bullish. And right now, I don't expect us to get another break of structure because of the diagonal nature of what is going on. So for the most part, my expectations are that, smart money concepts will move back down and we'll start to see changes of characterization within the Bitcoin price action. But we aren't there yet. But ultimately, if we take a look at our stochastic RSIs, you can see that we're overbought on the monthly, overbought on the weekly, overbought on the daily, overbought on the 8 hour, the 4 hour. And so we've got some progression to the downside to start to see, right? We can't just continue to move on up. And specifically with the overlapping nature of what we see here, even if you don't follow Elliott wave theory, this overlapping price structure, the price analysis tells you that things are about to turn and we're about to see a move to the downside. Okay, so the structures are not good, not looking good at all. So good to kind of get a good idea on kind of what's going on. Now, as we were expecting moves to the upside, we did have the hidden bullish divergence. A lot of people didn't really want to pay too much attention to that video when I put it out, but ultimately you can see here that we've moved up quite significantly since we had that hidden bullish divergence, right? We've moved up 9.45% since that flashed on the chart here. So it's interesting that that video just didn't seem to get enough attention on clicks when, I put a video out that was kind of, open and honest without such a clickbaity kind of title. It was very much, this is hidden bullish divergence, we're expecting to move to the upside. Doesn't really get the traction, doesn't really get the views, and therefore potentially people missed out on that 9.45%. Ultimately though, we can see here that volumes are decreasing as price is mushing up, so basically price goes up, volumes go down. This is a telltale sign that this is not a sustained move, and we are likely to start to see moves to the downside. So although we did see hidden bullish divergence, we're not seeing any other divergences just yet, but I think a bearish divergence is likely to occur soon. And yeah, we're going to start to see some interesting stuff occur in the Bitcoin price action, in my humble opinion. Okay, so that's your daily chart. Not much more I can say at this point. It's a slow weekend, I imagine, and we are going to start seeing that volatility probably into next week. Take this out to the weekly chart. Obviously, we have our bearish ascending wedge. This ascending wedge, of course, is testing the upper area. Like I said previously, though, we can adjust this. It could become a parallel channel. It can become so many different things. Ultimately, this is subjective to wherever we tend to draw these trend lines. We can push higher, we can push pull on this or whatever. But ultimately, for the purpose of this video and to kind of visually show you guys what this looks like, we can see here that we are in this basically ascending wedge, which is a bearish pattern. Now, with this, I still imagine that we are going to be testing out that slightly higher range. We're very, very close to it now, though. Obviously, we have the EMA stacking up quite nicely. We did have that golden cross on the weekly time frame with the 50 SMA crossing higher than the 200 EMA. That actually happened on a week commencing the 30th of October. And, for the most part, it's not actually too much more to kind of talk about. We had the two fair value gaps. Obviously, we have one over here at 22,000 towards 26,000, and then obviously down here at 17,000 to 20,000. There's going to be some interesting kind of plays there on the chart for that. It's going to be really, really interesting. One of the things that I will probably do a little bit of a walk and talk video on later today is going to be the Fed interest rates and the implications or the impact that the Fed will have on the crypto market. That video, I think, is one that you are going to want to check out because it does explain or will explain a lot to do with how the Fed's monetary policy is going to have an impact on crypto, Bitcoin, and the price action. And we are potentially going to see a lot of volatility based on what the Fed do next. So well worth keeping an eye on that one, in my opinion. Put that out at 2100 hours tonight. So do watch out for that one. That'll be UTC. But ultimately, guys, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. Just a nice, brief technical analysis video here on Bitcoin with what I think is going on, what I think is going to happen next, and all that good stuff. If you found it useful, informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one, though, guys, have a fantastic day.